Life.
What up, what up, what up, YouTube? It's your girl Dee Dee. Welcome back to the channel. So I am back with another reaction video. Now, this video, once again, comes from the Lapeef Network. Shout out to them. Make sure you support the channel. So they're talking about what young boys were taught as it relates to how to treat young girls versus what young girls were taught or the lack thereof when it comes to young men. So I recently had a conversation very similar to this, but we gonna get into what they're saying about it. I definitely want to know what you think in the comments below. Were you taught how to treat a young girl that you were interested in? And if you are a woman, were you taught how to treat a young man that you was interested in? Leave your thoughts in the comments. I want to know what you guys have to say. What were you taught growing up, or were you ever told what you should do for a man versus men? What were you ever told what you should do for a woman? I want to hear your thoughts in the comments, so let me know. But before we hop into the video, make sure you are subscribed to the channel if you like the content, share and like the video, and turn on that notification bell to be notified when I upload new content, all right? So we're going to go ahead and get into the video. Here we go.
Has anyone, whether it be mother or father, specifically taught you what the expectations of a man or how to treat a man or anything like that? Any information on how to take care of a man? Or was it just, what to expect from a man, what he should do and what not to tolerate?
Well, I can speak from just my upbringing, my own experience, and I'm assuming that most people share this experience. That a lot of times things aren't directly said; it's mostly observed, right? So in my household, I did grow up with both of my parents, right? And in that household, my mother never directly said, this is how you take care of a husband. But her actions and what she did for my dad were visual. I was able to observe those things, like her, when she would get his clothes ready and iron his shirts. She might see stuff on his collars, so she would hand wash his collars and his sleeves to make sure they're clean, and then iron his shirts. She would make sure that when she made plates, he would get the bigger chicken, a piece of chicken, or make sure he's served first. Things of that nature. So it wasn't where she said, okay, when you cook dinner, make sure when you get a husband, you do X, Y, and Z. So a lot of the lessons that I think most people learn about relationships is what they observe. So, and my dad never said, okay, when you get a husband, this is what you need to do to, treat your husband right. It was through observation and how he treated my mom.
Right. If any other lady wants to answer, go ahead. But I definitely had a follow-up. But go ahead. If any other lady had anything.
So I wasn't directly taught. I was taught by my dad what to avoid in men. I was taught by my granddad what to not put up with in men.
And I'm glad she said that. I mean, because that is typically what we get. They tell us what to avoid, the dangers, what to look for what to look for in men who might try to take advantage of you or, do things to you. But not necessarily from my perspective, telling you how to treat a good man, how to respond to a good man. We were taught how to deal with ain't shit men who are, ain't shit and they're this and that. We were taught that. It's almost as if that's what they expected us to have to deal with. But a lot of times they never really tell you how to deal with a man and what to expect from a good man and how you should show up for that man. I'm glad she's saying that, because that is the truth in many cases. Let's continue though.
Actually, my granddad was like, you don't need to get married. But yeah, the men in my family taught me what not to, like what to look out for, what to avoid. Usually, like, these are the men you don't want. And it really taught me about what, they do. So I looked by whatever they were doing, and it was normally monetary. They didn't really do a whole lot, like, for my grandmothers, in the way of, like, taking care of them. He took care of us. Both of them, like, made sure we were good. But, like, my grandmothers, aside from, like, paying bills and making sure that the stuff was in the household that needed to be in the household, I didn't see flowers. I didn't see nothing. I didn't see none of that. So, nope. I guess yes and no.
I appreciate the transparency, but this is getting real bad. Anybody else? The men see where I'm going with this.
Yeah,
but
I get it.
anybody else? No. Okay. So both of your answers, I'm very happy you were honest about it. But when you think about it, let's just say if you took any other aspect of your life like that, where when you were supposed to ride a bike or whatever you were supposed to learn in life, if it were just supposed to be implied, what if your parents just gave you information that was just supposed to be implied? Any other aspect of your life that they actually sat down, showed you, were very deliberate and intentional as to how this is supposed to go. For the men, I don't want to speak for the men, but I'm almost certain that they're going to share my sentiment. This is something that is taught to you, even if not you, for people around you. Men are told this is how you're supposed to treat a woman, right? Not just how to avoid what they can do, not as to what they are supposed to produce, but men in general are taught this is how you are supposed to treat a woman. That's just something. And then I'm not talking about people who might have been in dysfunctional situations and all that, which is a great portion, but people who come from good homes, this is what they teach the men. But even those same good homes won't tell the woman or the young lady growing up what it is that they should do to actually keep their man or obtain a man or just to make sure that that man is well, right? A lot of things that they pick up on their own, and sometimes just because they have a good heart, but a lot of times they're lacking the fundamentals and are learning as they go along how to actually be with the man.
It's just what it is. Most women were not taught, if they're gonna really be honest, that exactly specifically what you're supposed to be doing for a good man. We were taught more to look out for a man manipulating you and taking advantage of you more than telling us how we should show up for a good man. It just wasn't the conversation in most households. But the conversation was had even in school. Young boys were taught how to treat a young girl. If you like her, you should do this, you should do that. These are things, once again, that young men were taught from the out the gate of what they should do for a woman. Don't, talk to her nice, share your candy with her, give her something, pull the chair out for her, be a gentleman, open the door for her, give her a flower, give her something, show her a certain type of attention. But that was never taught to majority of women. We were never taught what type of attention we're supposed to give a guy and how we should show up for a guy that we like. Maybe should we, come up with a gift for him, or how we should treat him. We were not taught that. It was all about the women. It was all about how you treat a lady, not how the lady treats the man, because it's automatic for a man to treat a woman a certain way, but there was never a real conversation about how women should show up for good men. It just was not. And this is why women think the way they think now. This is why so many women are entitled, because they believe it's all about them. This is why they believe that they are the prize, because they've been set up to believe that they were the prize a long time ago. It's just what it is, and I just think, this is why some women even oppose women who do things for their men or buy things for them or treat them to stuff. They really think that that's something, no, you shouldn't do. They don't think that you should give anything to a man that he's only supposed to give to you. And I think that's a mistake that a lot of women make, because if you got a good man, then you should acknowledge him. You should show him some love and reciprocity as well, because they're human. They may not whine and show their emotions like you do, but they're still human and they appreciate when you do nice things for them as well. It's nice to show that you care by reciprocating the things, reciprocating nice gestures to them, especially when they're always doing it for you. Yeah, but it's something I think a lot of women have to learn because it hasn't been taught and it's not innate. You know what I mean? It's something that you have to learn to do. And that's sad because men were taught this early on and most women were not. Let's continue.
It's a question for clarification in what you just said about men. Boys are typically taught how to treat a woman.
Yep.
Can you dig a little deeper on what that is? Because the reason I say that is because a lot of what I saw growing up, again, this is my anecdotal experience. I can't say that everybody else. I also had a brother, and I would say that he wasn't directly taught to be a husband either, right? It was through observation as well. Now, there are some things that he was taught, like, open the door, which, my husband did the same thing to, with my son, make sure you open the door, like when he saw a woman walk through, right? But to say that they were explicitly taught how to take care of or how to treat a woman, again, from my experience, it was the same thing, just through observation, seeing how, like growing up in our household, the things that my dad did and the things that my mom did, to see how those things operate. So I guess I just want to know explicitly, what are some of those things that you say that when boys are taught how to treat a woman? Does it go beyond just opening doors?
I think Will has something because he reacted. So I think you got it. I'm gonna let him rock. You gonna rock out?
I'd rather you rock first, Trev. Hold on.
Yeah, I'll wait. Trev, you go first. Trev, you go first.
You want me to go? I mean, plenty of things. What to expect, like how you have to be gentle, how you have to be soft, how you have to cater to her feelings.
Yes.
Opening doors is just, that's like the fundamentals. Like, even if your parents don't teach you that, your teachers will teach you that.
Yeah.
That's just one of them things. I will say you don't get great advice from peers, because your peers will tell you to just go smash everything, right? But your parents, who are supposed to be doing that job, absolutely, they tell you. We learned about we had to learn about the time of the month and how to be I guess more gentle, empathetic in that way, right? This is just certain, even as a child, this is certain things you learn, like, no, at this time you have to know that her hormones are going to be different, and learning about anatomy and all. Like, okay, so now you have to be careful as to how you treat her. We always learned about that, about how to talk to women. Yep. Right, whether it's according to her mood. A lot of it was just I guess baby psychology. Even as children, this is what we were taught: sugar and spice and things that's nice, and how delicate women were, and how we just had to be with them. That was it. Everything. I could keep going, but I know Will had something.
Yeah, and that's interesting because women, we were not taught about the male nature and their emotions or feelings and how they think and how we should interact with them, and the things that a man might go through, and you got to be sensitive to certain things about a man because men are this and men are that. We were not taught that. We weren't taught anything about the male nature and how we should move around a man and interact with a man. But men, young boys were taught these things for the most part. But even if people don't believe it, it shows. If it shows in the way women treat men now and how they think about men now, and the disregard that they have for men now. It shows. It shows. Let's continue.
Those are like the fundamentals. This is just from like as a child. As you get older, it gets a little deeper. Mm-hmm. But yeah,
we gotta think about what I said a second ago. How we idolize lion, and the lion be intentional and sometimes unintentional, and sometimes we are intentionally or unintentionally aloof. We act like we don't see and or hear what we see and hear. Mistaken. Have you ever heard this phrase? In however, manipulate it however you need to manipulate it to make sure you can be honest with it. You heard this phrase. Blah, 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 how to treat a lady. Have you ever heard anybody say anything like that?
I'm not sure I'm clear on what you're asking me.
Have you ever heard anyone say whatever they're saying and then utter the words, how to treat a lady?
Yes.
No.
This is how you treat a lady. This is
Right.
not how you treat a lady.
Yes.
Okay. Yes.
I'm saying add whatever
Okay.
before, right?
Yep.
Okay.
But then
Gotcha.
the phrase, how to
Yes.
treat a lady. Have you ever heard that?
Yes, but I've also heard the
What else have you
opposite
heard?
as well. About
What's the opposite?
in terms of you better not talk to a
No,
man.
no, no,
like
no, 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 no,
or-
no, 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 no. Listen. That's not the
same
opposite.
thing.
That's not the opposite.
Because to be
No.
honest,
Okay.
I've never heard, oh, this is how you treat a man. I've heard this is how you should treat a woman, but I've never heard this is how you should treat a man. I can't recall. But I've definitely heard lots of times how you're supposed to treat a woman. This is how you're supposed to show up for a woman. This is what you're supposed to do for a woman. See, you this is what you're supposed to do for a woman. This how you get the woman. But never how you should treat a man and how you should show up. You don't hear that. You don't. Yeah, it's not popular.
Oh my God.
Let's continue.
Okay,
The
or you better
opposite
do
would-
this, or another woman will.
If
That
you're
doesn't fall
no,
under that same thing.
no,
Okay.
no, that's not the same thing. Because see, this one is proactive in showing you what to do.
Yeah.
What you're talking about is trying to tell a woman to stop doing something or to try to shame her into doing something. It's not proactive. Therefore, it doesn't stick the same. You train up a child the way they should go. We tell kids what to do. We don't just utter what don't. We tell them what to do. Hey, this is how you do this.
Right.
I'm going to do far better on the test if you tell me how to get the answer instead of you telling me how not to get the answer.
Right.
Telling me how not to get the answer doesn't tell me how to get the answer. It may help me from making some mistakes, but it doesn't help me do what's right.
Listen, once again, really good points made, really good conversation. And I think it's something that we need to look at and focus on. But it definitely shows up in today's society how there's been a lack of women being told what they should do for a man. It's very clear that they've never been told what they should do for a man, but they definitely have been told what a man should do for them. This is why we have a bunch of selfish women, women who are, have their hands out, gimme, because that's what you're supposed to do. But it's never been told to them what they were supposed to do. And it's very clear and it's obvious in the way women interact with men and what they expect from men. And I think that's something that you have to consider and take into consideration and start to change and implement it into your mind that, hey, if you have a man who's showing up in the way that you want him to, then you need to show up for him in a way as well. But what do you guys think? Y'all let me know in the comments below. Comment, like, subscribe to the channel. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And I will see y'all in the next one. Bye.
DeeDeesReactions. Tell a friend.